Deion Sanders doing Deion Sanders things, man. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. Deion Sanders, to me, pulling a move that only he can do. Not only he could do, but as far as the mindset. So, as you all know, Brittany Renner, she is an IG celebrity model, whatever you want to call her. She has a reputation of she's been with, I think, James Harden, a lot of NBA players, rappers, this, that, and the third. Um, she's most notably known for PJ Washington. She got PJ Washington when he was 18, 19 at Kentucky. I think at that time she might have been 24, 25,
26.
26. So
Yeah.
let's call that grooming, because if it was vice versa, they would say a man was grooming the woman. So let's just call it what it is. She was grooming him. He goes to the NBA. Fast forward, he goes to the NBA. Has his baby. I think a few weeks later,
He got her pregnant.
has
Then
his
have the baby.
baby. A few weeks later, breaks up with him. Listen, now PJ Washington is still on a rookie contract, and I think his child support is more than his salary. So, you know what type of woman she is. So, we have all these videos out here about stay away from women like that. Don't talk to women like that, which, you have to be mindful. But Deion Sanders does something that I don't think any coach would have ever thought of doing. He actually, instead of telling his players, coaching his players up to about women like that, he went and got the woman and had her come spit game. So therefore, basically, it's like, yo, if y'all don't get it, then I don't know what else to do, because it's coming from her mouth. Now, me personally being the person who I am, I'm wondering how many dudes actually jumped in her DM after she left. Because I guarantee you there was quite a few. There's always those quite a few knuckleheads that just like, you know what, man, I'm such. It'd be different with me. But for me, I want to point out how huge that was for prime time to do that. Like, not just, it's one thing to say, hey, stay away from women like this, because you gotta think Deion Sanders was Deion Sanders, man. Prime time, the stuff he's seen, the stuff he's done, he's dealt with women like that. He's came across women like that. So for him, like the swag, the next level of thinking to say, nah, go get her and have her come talk to my fellas, to spit game, to tell them I'm that person. And first off, I gained a whole level of respect for her. I'm not gonna lie to you, because for her to just come there and say, hey, yeah, like, listen, this is what I'm the one you need to stay away from. I'm not the only one. It's plenty like me. They're gonna say this, that, and the third. They're gonna want this, right? And shout out to both of them. But Deion Sanders, that's next level thinking. That's how you look out for the youth, your men. That's how you prepare for success. Because at that point, I don't know what else he can do after that. If you don't get it after that, like being in that room, seeing that like face to face, it's like, what else can he do? Like, he literally like went out, he got the source. Like he went out and got it and brought it in. So I just want to shout him out for doing that for those young fellas. That's next level thinking right there.
Yeah, man. The first step in trying to teach young men how to gain discipline and self-control, right? So reason why I interrupted you and said he got pregnant is because girls like that are very conscious of who they let, and I'm gonna go ahead and speak freely, who they let nut in them. They're very conscious of that, and they're not just gonna let any dude. They're not gonna have a baby. Like, it's all part of a plan. And she told them that. She told the young man at Jackson State, look, like you said, this is how we do it. This is the things that we'll say. First off, y'all gonna slide in my DM. She's not sliding in their DMs. She hook, line, and sinker, baby, right? But the interesting part, though, was that when she couldn't get somebody to get her pregnant at the pro level, she went to the college level. That is a
next level thinking too. Yeah,
that is a strategic type of individual who's like, look, if I can't get somebody who already has a contract, I'm gonna get somebody that I know is about to get one. And that's exactly what she did. And to her, she doesn't think she did anything wrong, because in all honesty, he chose to do what he did as well. Like, I can't just hold her responsible. Now, was he young and naive, and did she take advantage of his youth? Absolutely. But at the same time, and this is why we want to shout out Coach Prime, he's doing more to make the young men aware. And, it's funny because there's so much that is done. A lot of people don't notice, especially when it comes to professional athletes. When they get into the league, whether it's NBA, MLB, NFL, those are the three main ones in this country. When they get into the league, they have all kinds of programs to help them with their finances. So when you hear about athletes going broke, they try to help you prevent that. There's all kind of programs to teach you to manage your money. Now, do I think that it shouldn't come earlier? No, I don't. I think that should start like probably in middle school or something like that. But they have programs there to tell a young 18, 19-year-old who's not just a top elite athlete, but still in puberty, whose body is raging out of control with these hormones, and you got all these beautiful women coming up to you. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. He's not going to listen. But Prime did something completely different. He brought the girl to them to say, you probably shouldn't talk to us because this is probably going to be the outcome. Look, we've been doing this for a long, long time. Willie, I don't think I ever told you this story. So years ago, I used to have a client downtown, and she had a friend who used to play in the NFL. He had a book. So she had a spa. He had a book signing. He had wrote a book about football for women and did the book signing at her spa. Very, very smart. She said, hey, do you want to meet him? So we met, talked, blah, blah, blah. He said, hey, I'm in town for the weekend. They got the alumni game at the Browns Stadium because he played for the Browns and the Saints. He said, do you want to go to the game? I said, cool. We go to the game and we're sitting there watching the game. And he says, let me tell you something, man. And he dropped some knowledge on me. He said, you see this right here? He said, you can be the top football player in college, and it is nothing like being in the pros. Absolutely nothing. Because once you hit the pros, your entire life revolves around football. It's not, I got to be eligible. I got to go to class. I can't wait to hit the bowl games. In college football, you can have up to 104 players on the team. 104 players on the team. When you're in the pros, everybody's elite. Literally, like, how hard it is to get to the NFL, right? He said when it comes to the women in professional football, it's a completely different type of woman that you're dealing with. So I can just imagine in professional basketball. And what's crazy is that she didn't even get anybody caught up in football. She got PJ Washington caught up. He's a basketball player. Coach Prime recognized that and said, let me bring her to the football players because they coming up next. So yeah, shout out to him, man, because hopefully the young man will pay attention to that. And hopefully other coaches will start doing what Prime is doing and creating ways to help the young man recognize these wolves that are in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, I feel like maybe now you'll see it, but only Prime could think of something like that. I don't think they're not saying that they couldn't, but I don't think like a Nick Saban or Ryan Day would think to do that. Like that's so like on another level of thinking to just go that like that's crazy, man. Like that was like I seen that. I was like, yo, what is he doing? But when he brought it, I was like, yo, that's great. I've never seen that done.
Here's a question for you, because I thought about what you just said. Do you think it's the thinking that he thought doing it, or do you think it's the position he's in and the position they're in? Because he's Prime, they're not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't because I said this earlier in the week when you first brought it. I don't think. I mean, listen, man. Prime is like take away coaching, right? That's a whole like different swag level. Like that's for God's sakes, the man's nickname is Prime Time. Like,
and he's the best to ever do it. So
like I don't think
actually Nick
Saban's can pull that off.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because even after seeing him do what he did, can can they do it? That's the thing. It's not the thinking anymore. It's the fact, can they do it? Because of the positions they're in, like, being coaches at those schools, what type of publicity would it bring to those programs? You can have all kind of lawsuits, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. This is a topic for another day.
Go ahead.
I think they could get somebody like that, but not a Brittany Renner. I think Prime can only get a Brittany Renner to do that. Nick Saban, yeah. It's a different level of thinking, talking, speaking. Yeah. And they could get somebody, culture, but not a Brittany Renner.
Yeah, and culture too, because Prime speaks a certain language to the players. And that's the other thing too. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? He can talk that language, whereas they may not be able to. Now, shout out to Michigan State University head coach, a black man. I'm pretty sure he can speak that language. Shout out to, I mean, there's a few of them that are up and coming. But when you have somebody that, because that's the thing, maybe in the pros, but in college football, there are very few coaches that have played the game at the level that he's played it at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say in college sports, period, the majorities of the coaches did not play the sport. Some of them did go pro, but they didn't play the sport at that level where you always got the lights on you. So he understands it from a certain level. But yeah, man, I mean, I hope that they can. That's not what I'm saying. I hope that they can find something, or they have something in place, whether it gets publicity or not. My thinking is just, we want the best for these young men, because a lot of these young men came from nothing. And one of the things we hate to see is somebody waiting on the sidelines as a leech to be able to take what they work so hard for. These women didn't run up and down that field. They don't run up and down the court. Not saying that they can't, but in those cases, they did not. And let's not act like it's all their fault, because at the end of the day, you choose as a man who you sleep with as well. Great topic, man. Guys, if you haven't already, well, first off, make sure that you weigh in on this topic too, because it's a really interesting topic. What did you think about Coach Prime bringing Brittany Renner to the college to talk to his players? What's your thoughts on that? And if you haven't already, go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed to us on iHeart, Apple, and Spotify, do that too. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I think we're going to have our TikTok back up very soon. Willie, you got anything, brother?
No, that's it. Thank you. Appreciate everybody.
All right. Well, till next time, it is the Black Culture Podcast. I'm Price. That is the Willie Ashford. Peace.